Well, hello. Good day, good evening. After a bit of a break, I'm back. I'm still alive. And let's have some fun with LMU, I suppose. Should be 10 minutes more of this practice. And I've taken the Alpine for a bit of a change. Because it's supposedly a nice car. Hi Yo-Yo, hi Jan. Well, I mean, I would prefer to be back with a nice, well, the nice check board or whatever that thing is called, which was given instead of the, well, trophy to Mr. Devin Braune, who won Sim Formula. What a great drive from him. Oh, David, hello. GT3 fixed. Well, it's the championship. It's Le Mans. I think it's 1 hour race at Le Mans in the championship. And I think 4 of the 5 weather settings is rain. So it's gonna be fun. And it's night, so gonna be even more fun. Yo-Yo, basically I DNF'd because, well, collision model and, yeah, long story. I finished on a roof, on the, well, the car had no roof because it's the BAC mono and it doesn't have a roof, but I finished upside down together with Colin Spork. After some people had some carnage and we got collected. And the damage model in the last garage sim is, well, basically turned on times 10. So little bit of contact and you have a space simulator. David, I drive the BMW. Is the engine a bit silent or... Yeah, I think it's fine. The BMW V8 in the hypercar is a lot louder than this Alpine. Alright, David, thank you. So I guess I finished P13 or P14 out of 16 finalists at Maastricht, which is, well, not a win which I got last year, but you know, sometimes things go wrong. Muffin, hello, this is maximum forward as it can get, and it's kind of alright, but would prefer it a bit more forward. Der Bayer, hello. The travel, yeah, I mean, overall it was a nice experience, and I've met people. It was nice chatting with Mr. Offermans and spending time with Mitumichi and others. And actually, I'm very happy for Michi and his P2, and for Devin, who instead of developing LMU, traveled to the Sim Expo and decided to win. You didn't notice? Ah, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I knew because I was invited from last year, but well, in all these years, it's always been organized in that time slot. Except in the, well, COVID years where it was just the race online. But basically it's the race, it's the Sim Expo with all the big brands. And also there is this Interclassics with basically thousands or maybe thousands of old cars. It was incredible. There was this Ferrari Barchetta Superleggera or something like that from 1950. it said estimated worth is between 4 and 6 millions, and it was just there, like you could walk past it. Overall, an insane event and really, really good place to spend the weekend. But yeah, it was 10 hours of drive both directions, so it kind of took a lot of energy out of me. So yesterday I just spent 9 hours sleeping, and I was still completely destroyed. Ah, alright. Yeah, I think it was very advertised on Overtake GG, because they're kind of sponsoring it, or like co-organizing or something like that. This Alpine drives really well. I have not really driven it much. I drove it at Le Mans and at Spa, and I didn't enjoy it any of those 2 times, but here at Fuji now, after all the updates, it's very pleasant. Oh, there is the Isota in P1. Nice. Have to find a couple of more tents. And now, after Expo, or after Sim Formula competition, I have a severe issue with my left foot, because I spent the whole competition stomping on that stupid Acetec pedal like a madman. I drive with socks, without shoes, but for that competition I just should have worn the shoes, but that was close with the Ferrari. But I kind of lack some feeling, but I don't know, we were not allowed to change the pedal force, and it was set to extremely high value, so I don't know. It's one of the excuses for me why I wasn't on pace. Although, yeah, we had same pace with House and Rudy Van Buren within 10th or 2 in quali, but we were all a second away from Devin and Michi and Marcel Cimcik. Hi Jake. Yeah, I mean, it's always fun for some, right? But you know, like, this is my Huizenfeld profile when it opens. Yeah, there you go. This is how I use it. You see 37 kilos. That would correspond with like 70 or like maybe 60 to 70 kilograms in the SimuCube active pedal, and that would correspond to like 200 kilograms in Logitech, Trustmaster TLCM, because these forces are like not calibrated, they're like completely random between manufacturers. But if you have Huizenfelds, basically what they had there was something like this. This is max 65, and then the dead zone was insane. Like it, let's see, like if I put it to 25%, it was something like that. You had to really press on it to even start doing something, and then you just had to. No, it was more than this. I think the pedal there was max force at Sim Formula was more than Huizenfeld sprints can actually produce. It was insanely stiff. We were not allowed to change. Last year we had the same exact hardware, and we were allowed to change this. And I was faster on site than at home. Within 1 hour I beat my PB. And it was absolutely insane, and I was very happy. But this year we couldn't change it. Also the FOV was something like Something like this, I think, yeah. And I need 2 hours, 3 hours of driving to calibrate my brain, and I I just couldn't do it. Yeah, I mean, I understand why they did it. They did it so that, like, everything for everyone is exactly the same. Funny thing, between some races, somebody went and just rotated the throttle, throttle range knob to increase the throttle pedal range, like to make it bigger. Like between the races, just run through all the sims, just rotated the knob a bit. Suddenly there was longer throttle travel. I mean, overall, it's fair enough. Like, they try to really make it same for everyone, but it's not really same for everyone. If some people race with shoes at home with huge pedal forces, and some people race barefoot and so on, and then you arrive on the position, and I mean, some people race with very high FOVs. I remember at London at Formula E Accelerate finals, I think one of the guys had like insane FOV, like 50. It was great for looking at the hairpin walls, but for overall feeling, it's more difficult. And you have to adjust to that. So if you race at home with very stiff pedal and with more FOV, you arrive at such event, you are on pace much more easy. But if everybody can just adjust pedals and FOV, for example, it's more equal. But I mean, yeah, they took a different approach. Cannot really blame them again. It was just funny, like Devin and Michi, they were just hitting every apex, just spot on. And I was like, either I stopped 10 meters before the apex or just went completely off. There was nothing in the middle. Just zero feeling. I didn't know if I was braking 0% or 20% or 50%. At some point I gained like a second because I just started doing this like crazy into, like, now I'm stepping really on the brake pedal. Like, you really had to lean fully on the seat against the pedal to make the force. I used to have 65 kilos for a Formula Pro car because it really had like a very peaky first hit and then had to release the brake. But then a little bit of pain in the joints, in the knee and in the hip when you drive a lot. So now I'm at 37 in the smart control here. Yeah, anyway, I have 2 hours more, or 2 hours and a half more of SFE Maastricht finals renting. But I mean, overall, I still I had no regrets. It was overall a fun event. Yeah, also, yeah, Jake, you mentioned Yuri, right? Yuri, so I drove on, I randomly selected rig 6, and I got, somehow, because I finished in quali in certain position, I got assigned rig 6 for first race as well. And then Yuri, after, in the end, got the same rig, and when he drove it, it finally failed, like the FFB or the whole steering wheel died, and he DNF'd, and I thought the FFB sometimes was a bit weird, or like, it was very strong at the start, but later it was less strong, so I don't know, maybe I was just thinking too much, but in the end, poor Yuri Kasdorp had to DNF because the wheel died on him on that exact rig. Anyway, I need to remember that it's fuel times 2 here and that I need to reduce the fuel for quali. AI takeover was because somebody pressed a button somewhere, but they restarted the race. So yeah, it was just hardware failure for Yuri. That's how I understood it in the end. Hi Fabio, I'm James. Wait. Ah, yeah, of course. Yeah, this is how I felt there. Like, a right of corners, and if I didn't smash the brake it didn't break. So yeah, bottom dead zone back to, what was it, 4%? Yeah, I think I had 4% before. It was like that at SFE, like just trying to brake, it just didn't do anything. I guess I keep driving. The car is broken. Anyway, it's gonna be 8-minute quali, so let's say 6 laps. And because of times 2 fuel, it should be like, I don't know, 35 liters or whatever. Maybe a bit less of these things. Also, let me go to my dash studio and put on this. Where are you? Come on, LMDH. Thank you. Alright. So this still is like it was, okay. Yeah, finally we can adjust the TC settings in the garage after the update from earlier today. Really nice. David, by the way, I talked to Offermans. He said that he actually bought new PCs. So like the PCs were new. So there would be no more frame rate issues and so on. But other hardware was from last year. I don't know, like SETech steering wheel, it's really good. The FFB, I mean, it's similar or same as SimiCube, but it's maybe like last year I got better FFB from that than from home. But the pedals, like the brake pedal, you can set it to 20 kilos. It's gonna be very light, but the actual like angle, like it just doesn't move. It's solid wall. You can and supposedly you cannot adjust it to be softer, to have more travel. And I don't know if that's really the case, but like that's just inexcusable. Like how can you make a pedal, like high-end pedal, kind of that cannot have any range? Like it literally moved maybe 1 centimeter max at full input. I don't know. The rig was flexing more than the brake pedal. The angle was the worst of all. I thought my ankle is gonna fall off in the end. But well, that's maybe a problem of the whole sim rig. It would have to lean backwards for a better angle, but it was just flat. And to make everything worse, Michi made it back home from the expo and did the VMS race and won it, and now, well, I need to win a bit more in next rounds of VMS to re-catch the championship lead. Well, fair enough. He had a weekend of his life. By the way, that's the last garage sim from Offermans. I think it's still the only thing that drives exactly like real life on boards look like. The qualifier on site, so like 8 people were invited and 8 qualified on site. People were just catching the rear slides like they already were like professionals or something. Like they just knew how to do it instinctively. The FFB and the physics of it just provided everything needed for like pushing the cars on the limit, unlike most of the sims. And despite the driftiness, it wasn't necessary to drift like it is in RF2 most of the times. Anyway, quali, here we go. Tires are kind of up to temperature. Let me find 2 seconds of lap time somewhere. Just Timo, there are maybe some onboards in the broadcast on Sim Formula Europe channel. The thing is that I had a GoPro with myself. I wanted to record it, but not at the expense of sacrificing performance. So I wanted to record after the event, but the event stopped at 6 PM and the whole expo actually closed at 6 PM, so I couldn't do it. And on Sunday I was leaving in the morning. I think somebody from Overtake GG potentially recorded some driving. Alpine is incredibly slow. Okay, well, luckily there is just one straight. Okay, why am I 1.5 seconds off pace? Oh dear. 2 more attempts. Actually, I should still have 2 more laps. Nice. Tires are slowly getting up to temp as well. Okay, 0.5 seconds off. That's kind of acceptable. With purple S3. Too wide. No rubber on the outside. Yeah, just Timo, great question. From what I understood, it's gonna be most likely the same game again. So, well, I mean, in ideal world, it's gonna be just invites. I mean, in ideal world for some, it's gonna be invites plus on-site qualifiers again, which kind of makes sense for the organizers. But of course, I'm not gonna drive 10 hours in case I then get unlucky and just waste the whole weekend. Much curb. Oi oi oi, nice drift. Good luck. Lucky drift at the chicane. I feared I'm gonna get out qualified by the Isota. Alright, I see. Sector 1 probably bad because of the straight line, but in the corners it's a nice car. Although Toyota is not great on the straights, it's great in the corners as well, so... Okay. Quick calculation. Yeah, again, fuel times 2. So we don't really need to calculate anything. The TC is needs to be aggressive. I was having to correct quite some slides. I guess I will rely on the tiny pedal overlay for the fuel calc. It was 5.7%, I think, virtual energy per lap. I don't know, I will calculate later. Yeah, Jake, I mean... Probably. I mean, it's this tire model, right? It's gonna get fixed. But it was introduced with GT Freeze and it gives a bit more of slip angle. And... Sorry, what was that? Some speck of dirt. Yeah, but they will be fixing it, so... Because there is currently too much of incentive to overpush the car. Not enough wear, not enough thermal drag. Okay, well, finally back in a race. I'm Londi, thank you. Christ, I was at Sim Formula Expo. Hi Camille, this is LMU. Wow, the launch from the Isota. Into the lead. Beautiful. Usually there is carnage on the inside, but this time there was carnage on the outside. That Isota Fraschini has some power. But the Toyota is just lacking acceleration. But it's still a very fast car. I think the first gear with the Alpine is a bit weird. The rear can just snap violently if you downshift too aggressively. So let's see now the straight line speeds. That Toyota is nowhere. Except on the brakes. Yeah, I need to remember it's ×2 fuel, so lift and coasting is very powerful. Yeah, look at that. Was that a bit cheeky from me? late squeeze to the left side, but he just has crazy downforce. Hi Sully. I mean, it's not huge updates, but I mean, it's like there is many small updates to prevent some fixes and crashes and glitches. Look at him going around the outside now. Funny how Toyota has no acceleration but crazy brakes and Alpine the other way around. I just struggle so hard for stable brakes. But that's the worst, when you know that somebody can actually outbrake you from 3/10 behind. You are never safe. Weather for LMGT3 fixed. Yeah, there is rain in 4th of the 5 slots. And it looks like it's not just drizzle but actual rain. BMW versus McLaren, yeah, I can imagine. About GT3 versus GTE. Difficult decision. Issue is that I don't like ABS. I mean, I love ABS, but I'm not good at ABSing. I wanted to lift and coast, but as soon as I'm starting to lift and coast, I will get absolutely dived. AC Evo, yes, I have plans, but I don't know how to approach it. Oh, there are GTEs in this race, of course. I scared him out of the apex. Sorry. So basically, Jesper, my dear teammate, has bought AC Evo on the launch day. Did a couple of laps. said that he sent it hard over curbs at Imola. He felt absolutely no FFB from the curbs at all. He said it's the worst sim ever released and refunded. And now I'm thinking, well, I mean, I want to try it, but it kind of seems to be kind of just copy-paste of AC and ACC with a couple of adjustments. I saw that the street cars are kind of fun. I saw broadband drifting that alpha around Suzuka. I want to do the same, but just not sure what to stream actually. But I will figure it out. I mean, it's just like the good old AC thing. Until the peak slip angle, you get grip, and after that you just get kind of just deadly response, like deadly understeer. There is no life in it. It's just mathematical down slope in front grip, and feels like you cannot do anything with it. You cannot influence in the mid corner. Because with race cars, like you brake into a corner and then you play a bit with the front input, front left, let's say in the right corners, to squeeze out everything of the grip. But in AC and ACC, it always felt to me as if once you are reaching the apex, you have to be on the perfect trajectory with perfect input, and you cannot do anything to play with it. Maybe you can drift the rear like just a little bit, like half a degree of slip angle more or less, but front just has like very triangular response in grip versus slip without any rubberiness. And I'm super confused. I'm really extremely confused. Maybe even more than with iRacing. I mean, let me not get dive bombed while I'm rambling about it, but like they have thousands of players, both in AC and ACC. They have the resources. They have so much money. They have all the time and resources to launch a proper sim with early access. Like LMU was launched in a very broken state, but a couple of patches, couple of fixes, and it was playable from day one with, well, except from some crashing, you know. But the actual, when it was working, it was really good fun. So, I mean, I have to try for myself, but to hear directly from Jesper, who has done so many hours or thousands of hours and laps on multiple sims and in real life racing, to say that it's the worst sim, that kind of hits me right in my heart. And I just cannot understand it, how that can happen. And LMU keeps being the most enjoyable of the modern sims. Nice splitter stuck into the apex from behind. But like, I really want to love AC Evo. Like, I absolutely think that open world map stuff is what is actually missing from sim racing. Like, nowhere there is a combination of open world map with career mode or something like that, with actually sim physics. So I was really looking forward to that concept. And, well, I hope somehow they make an enjoyable sim out of it. And then again, people from ACC will love it, of course, because it's basically ACC when it comes to handling. And yeah, I saw it had like peak of 20,000 players when it launched. That's absolutely horrendous racing line. And there is a gap, and there is another gap. Nice. Oh, Jack was sent off track. And that corner is funny. There is always a little bit of space on the inside, and even if there is not, there is that extra tarmac that you can take. Oh, he lost a lot of places. Well, that was a blessing in disguise. Again that drift when I downshifted to first. Yeah, I took wrong line into turn 2. It turned out to be the better line. And now the other Toyota is gonna eat me alive. I hope they fix the track limits at the last corner one day. Not sure how they judge it in real life, if it's the white line or the curb. Good evening, Mario. Thank you. Yeah, huge numbers for AC Evo. I think Michi is about to add another count to that very soon this evening. And that makes me think that, I mean, they keep saying that it's like a passion project and it's like racing and driving being live, and I don't know, like they made drama out of it. Of course they want to earn as much as possible from it. But still, I mean, if there... I have to stop downshifting to first. If there is any bit of passion in it, they will use all the money that they gather from this to actually make a great sim. You know what, they should go to Marcel Offermans, pay him for the last garage physics, copy paste it into AC Evo, and they will have the best sim ever. Well, about the numbers, you know, it doesn't need to stay that high. And it's still big, like, if you start at 20k, then drop to 5k, then drop to 1k, you have dropped a lot, but then you get another update, further release of many cars, it jumps back up to 10k. And on average, it's really good numbers. And the second gear doesn't rotate. This Alpine, it's a weird car. It's very pleasant in some parts of corners, but sometimes it's just... how to even describe it? Kind of bouncy, kind of feels like it's very high up in the air. And you can trail brake a lot, but it will lock up the rear very easily if you overdo it. But rotation is nice. Jake, there is a good chance that I will be doing the Bathurst. And I was streaming, or I had been streaming iRacing once per week for some weeks. Then there was a bit of break because LMU GT3s and stuff. and of course the Sim Formula Europe competition. But my plan is still to grind some iRating and do the special events. Together with Jesper. And maybe another high profile guy from Rafa. Let's see. Six laps to go of this stint. Need to start calculating. Where is the apex? Cannot afford myself leaving space on the entries. There will very quickly be a Toyota nose in there. Jake, what do you think top split rating has to be on average? Or what did it have to be for like taking the Cadillac GTP and making it into top split? Like 8k, 9k? I think it was a lot less for LMP2s. So where is Mr. McConnell? Has he completely died or what? Or has he already boxed and went alternative strategy way? $5.9k in GTP, that's interesting. I mean, if you have teammate with 10k, then it's a lot easier, of course. A second gear is fine. Also good power in low RPM. Or how they call it, good torque. Which is physically wrong way to put it, as I usually say. Yeah, well, maybe some of you will know, but I have a big problem with torque versus power, and I believe 90% of YouTube is totally wrong on it. Hello Jesper, yes indeed. Kind of, I mean, compared to some other sims. And depends on what car you drive. But for now it's my P2 in the sim racing leaderboard. If you assume that RF2 and LMU are the same, but well, they are not the same, so... Okay, LMU 1, RF2 2, iRacing 3. Yeah. On average. There are some Assetto Corsa 1 cars which are just incredibly fun. If only there was not that huge of a step between how good LMU and RF2 are, in my opinion, and how less good iRacing is, but yeah, well, anyway. Still can enjoy it. What do you mean about torque versus power? So basically, my question was always, in these, let's say, turbocharged engines, as I miss the Apex, let's say you have constant power between 9k and 12k RPM, which is the case with turbocharged V6s in F1. And then you have torque at the same time dropping hard between 9k and 12k. So let's say at 9k you have what are the units actually, like 1000 Newton meters of torque, and at 12k you have, let's say, 700 Newton meters of torque. So less torque at 12k but same power. Where do you upshift? I always thought that, well, there is same power but there is more torque, so I should go for the earlier, right? Turns out that it doesn't matter at all, because torque is just the energy output of one engine cycle. So when they say engines have a lot of torque, the only thing they mean is that they produce most of power at low RPM. I mean, I didn't mean to talk about the upshift, but maybe I didn't explain it properly. Maybe I should have said at what point you have better acceleration. At 9k or 12k RPM, if you have same power but different torque. And because I watched torque versus power videos on YouTube, I thought it's maybe where you have more torque, but turns out it only depends on the power. And I went manually through all the equations mathematically, so I now understand it, but maybe not enough to be able to clearly explain it while racing. Yeah, it only depends on power. The torque is just a random variable that don't... It's kind of just like at what power the engine is the most efficient, or what kind of RPM the engine is the most efficient. Okay, I have to refill. Let's set the strategy no tire change, and we will reduce to, well, tiny pedal says plus 45.7. Should I trust it? Last time it showed me too little. One lap too little. So maybe I take a bit more, just in case. Let's go with 49. Box, box, box. All right. Well, hopefully that's enough. Yeah, diesel power, I mean, yeah. You just need so many gears that to keep it in the optimal range that you just lose so much time upshifting. So, out of the pit lane, what is the situation? Where is everyone? So despite fueling 1 lap extra, I gained quite some time. And now Tiny Pedal says that it was actually needed to refuel extra lap, so not appreciated, Mr. Plugin. Actually, I have to update the plugin still. Have the old one. I've heard that the weather forecast should work now. Through the overlay. So that's kind of nice. I have to test it out. But where is McConnell? He actually DNF'd or what? Hello, Skyroth. Yeah, so indeed I have to be slightly mindful of what I do with the fuel. But this is going much smoother than I anticipated in qualifying. Let's hope the LMGT3 Fixed Championship final is gonna go as smooth. Even though, well, I say as it's for me an important race, but I have skipped 3 of the 6 races, so I'm not fighting for anything there. But still. Hi Ayus. So yeah, I actually can full push, or well, 5.5 per lap. I think 5.7 energy is full push. I mean, this is really a pleasant car for this track. I appreciate it a lot. It just stops being pleasant if there is a Toyota behind. But if you are able to take your time on the brakes and make a nice entry very gently and slowly, then it's alright. Would drive it again. I can even take 3rd gear. Because it has good enough torque, right? It's got good efficiency, produces good work deeper engine rotation at lower RPM. Yeah, I'm live after a week. So basically I wanted to stream last week at least once, but then there was this, well, Codemasters, F1, esports, sim racing, whatever. And if you try to stream while that is on, it's a bit depressing. I mean, Michi did it anyway and got good views, but I was leaving on Thursday morning already for Maastricht, so I just wanted to be, well, peacefully preparing for the esports trip without any extra racing or whatever. And speaking again of the expo, I don't know, like I have to cry about it a little bit, but why is it with all the sim expos that almost any sim you try has insane input lag? Like it's unbelievable. Like you sit in that huge 20k rig with huge like actuators and that carbon monocoque and huge TV screens and all the stuff that you can imagine. But it just all is so delayed that you cannot even take Orouge flat out because you turn in and then you don't know where you are because there is half a second of delay. Like what on earth? Also, I have footage of I had a GoPro with myself. I spent way too much time, too much money. I will use it for some content as well, so maybe I will record an AC Evo video with GoPro, some drifting, and upload that as my review. But anyway, I have footage from Expo with GoPro. I will analyze it frame by frame and I will try to get the milliseconds of delay from input to output. Actually, I got educated that it's not input lag, it's latency or like output lag. Because you see your outputs, no, you see your inputs after like 4/10 on the screen. Skyroth, I mean, I could do it. I haven't thought of it. I mean, it kind of just requires a little bit of playing around, but I could show it once. I just don't imagine how I would make a coherent video out of it, or like what points I would make, but and there is so many overlays that I don't know how many people are actually gonna watch it and if it's worth it doing. Maybe I can show once on the stream. Yellow flag? Where is the broken car? Nowhere anymore. Kopian. Yeah, there was a Assetto Corsa competizione. I think it was Simicube wheel, like a sim rig. What is that GT3 doing? Don't crash me out. Thank you. I complained to the guy who was there, like the personnel of the like bunch of sim rigs there, and he said nobody complained yet, and I was like, well, I'm happy to be the first one to complain about the latency. But like it's there, I just have to analyze. Although they have all conveniently hidden the in-game steering wheels, probably because they were so delayed, but usually there was some like FFP on, so one can just compare the physical input on the wheel with the response on the FFB bar and get some kind of estimate. I did win one thing at the expo. that big Tuatara Referox whatever sim rig that's kind of presented by Jarno Opmer and the Formula 2 guy. Wait, what was the surname? Oh, I'm so old. I'm forgetting the names. Well, on that rig I was like P17, but I was the only one. I was the first of those who only had one try because you had to wait in the queue. Then you had 5 minutes of AC1 at Spa, some F1 mod. I did 3 laps. Everybody ahead of me did like 6 or 9 or even 15 or 60 or whatever. I will take it as an achievement. So we should have actually 2 more laps. It's just between 1 and 2 more. Not like that. I'm gonna lose the lead if I do this once more. Mlondi, I will try to think of something. I have still the FFB video to make, but there was just too much of stuff going on. Jake, I don't know. Like if you make 10k sim rig, one would assume that number one priority is 0 latency. Because it's such a bad advertisement for sim racing. Like people come, all this huge equipment, big cost, everything, and then they drive and they're like, well, okay, it's alright, but something feels off, but they don't know what feels off because they don't understand how latency works in hardware in sim racing if they have not done it before. Can I brake? 5, 4. No, I have to do one more lap. And I need to concentrate. Yeah, about LMU FFB, it's settings that kind of work for most sims for me. One last downshift for extra rotation. Is this third gear as well, actually? Yeah, the rear is still alive. The entry is good. Yeah, third gear is fine. Ooh, Copy. Well, that's one way to... Okay, well, he let me through, so... I did that last time. I crashed into somebody. But, I mean, I should have known it, right? I mean, that's the move to make. You have to go for it and scare the opponent off, but it doesn't work if the opponent doesn't see you. What should I respond? Well, oops. I did exactly the same thing like 3 weeks ago, right? But luckily, for the sake of justice, I got spun around. I didn't even see him, like, at this point I was like, okay, he's far behind, I'm in third gear trying to make the corner, and then I'm just doing the corner and here I realize, uh-oh, there is something on the inside, and we go around. Yeah, I mean, what am I doing? Like, of course, it's the last corner, there's a car kind of 6-7 tenths behind, of course he's gonna dive. I should be parked here on the apex. I don't know, like... These corners are the worst, like the rule books are not written for these corners. Because, like, he never was alongside, but like what is alongside and what is the breaking point and what is the turn-in point in this kind of corner, so... I mean... He had some overlap, but probably it would never be a sufficient one for the racing line to take. But it's the smallest of the contacts. Is that my first netcode in LMU history? I got netcoded, guys. Or maybe it's the just collision model being slightly different than the 3D model. Anyway, yeah. Fair from him to give back the position. Actually, I have a race in a couple of minutes, so I have to quickly make it to the other server. Hi, Jack. Yeah, well, you had the maxed out brakes on the Toyota, and I had the maxed out... still plus on DR, nice. And I had maxed out acceleration on the Alpine. It wasn't fun defending on the braking zones. Yeah, Jake, I suppose. Even if ahead at the apex, it has to be because of legitimate overlap, not because of huge dive, but yeah. Well, Carlos, I don't know. It felt like in other sims it's much more easier, or... Speaking of crashing out, I had a very nice experience at Maastricht at Sim Formula Europe. A little tap and the car went to the space. So this is not... Okay, we have some practice time, luckily. BMW has way too high TC by default. Let me put this 414. And a bit less max pedal force, a bit less ABS. And let me change the dash so it will not be showing stuff that I don't need to show. And we can drive. Maybe I can marginally increase the gain to make it more watchable. Is that good? I suppose it is. Yeah, that's too dark. That's... yeah, should do it. Alright. This race is gonna be quite esports. There is some very fast people in there. This is championship race. This is the last race in the LMGT3 fixed championship in the online system. And it's gonna be 1 hour of Le Mans, and there will be some rain in the middle. Ah, Jake, you got drive-through. First time into Fuji pits. Well, Fuji pit lane is not something you want to make it first time during an actual race. Yeah, it's one of the trickiest pit entries. So well, RIP. Was good fight with you for the first part of the race, Jack. Yeah, and Jake, exactly. I mean, I don't even know if I have bought iRacing Le Mans at all, but I saw on boards, and I drove AC1 Le Mans, and after driving RF2 and LMU Le Mans, you just cannot drive any other Le Mans. Just doesn't feel correct. Hi Mason, I have a Samsung 49-inch. What was it called? C49 HG. 1080p vertical, 144 frame rate or refresh rate. Honey, I drive McLaren, but not in the championship. Like I registered for this championship with the BMW because I thought I really like the BMW, and it's actually still my favorite car to drive. It just feels very solid. It just seems to be overall not the best on BOP. The fried egg, thank you. And Christ, special event. Wait, there is weekly on Wednesday, Thursday and Monday, right? I think that's 2 hours of Interlagos, potentially. And then there is on weekend the Spa race, right? Yeah, I will do the Spa race most likely on Sunday evening, but I have to still decide. I wanted to check out Interlagos. Actually, I guess I can do it after the stream. I will, after this race finishes in 1 hour and a half-ish, I will do a lap in Interlagos, because they fixed that stupid Astro having big grip before the last corner, supposedly. So you cannot just stay off track after the curb and use the grass for better entry speed. That I have to check if it's actually working. Yeah, on Thursday I think Michi will be doing the weekly, and I want to do it as well, but at the same time I need to squeeze an iRacing stream somewhere, even when I know that most of us don't really appreciate that as much as LMU streams. But it has to be done because of plans. It will be for sure a fun race, and let's see how the rain shapes it as well. And also the slipstream in GT Freeze has been fixed or like changed, so let's see how that works. Light the ferry copy. Yeah, I'll try to remember after this race to do it. I will just load Interlagos and do 2 laps and see. "100 minutes GT3. Ah, yeah, that's a good fun, because these fuel tanks go like 45, right? Renting, well, yeah, exactly. You know what? That should not be a track limit. I will complain about this as if this was a bug. Right, about losing aero. Now that the slipstream is a bit harsher or like more effective, the dirty air is kind of a little bit more effective as well, so going closely behind somebody into Porsche curves or through the Indy kink could be deadly. So let's see how that goes. Yeah, they did rework track limits overall. They made it a bit more aggressive for GT Freeze. need to remember not to over ABS it into corners, because ABS is hitting up the tires a lot, much more than in RF2. Ah, right, the fry deck, I remember, yeah. This is flat out, and then you smash the brakes and ABS saves you, but that's not the best racing line, you know. So 1 minute of practice, I guess I will try one pit entry. Yeah, we have Kieran here with the McLaren, and I think he's leading in the overall championship standings, so... well... there is M champion in P1, nice. But I don't think he will be the champion. Kieran will want to win the championship, and I think he has substantial lead in the standings after 5 races. He did 4 minutes 0-0, that's fast. Okay, well. 15 minutes quali. Is that 2 attempts? What was it? 5, 9, around 9 per lap. 18, I'm gonna take like, I don't know, 27 of fuel. It was a bit less. I forgot. I think it was like 9.7 or 9, yeah. Should make 10 laps. Actually, that's the virtual energy. The ratio is a lot lower. Should be like 6. Yeah, let's take 22 and see what happens. Not sure if these tires die after 1 lap when it comes to full push quali. Maybe should have just taken a bit more fuel, but only thing stuttering here is the ABS. Well, Mr. Stefano is kind of correct about it. Frame rate is not too bad. Hi Yuri. The Sim Rig 6 gang reunites. And yeah, you are warmly invited to wipe your tears as well. Power Rangers. We basically only had like 4 or 5 programs on the TV. We didn't have the satellite dish and stuff. But I remember my uncle had that. So when we were visiting there, I was watching Cartoon Network and stuff like that. So wait, is Power Rangers a cartoon even, or is that something else? Have I mixed up something with it? Tiny Pedal still thinks that somebody is on hearts. These cars only have 1 compound, so... I need to be super careful about the track limits. I don't know why they are so strict. Like we have worked on them, on that. I have submitted quite some bug reports or like feedback on what to do with the track limits around here, and the devs kind of listened and improved. But still, we cannot cut as much as they could in real life. Speaking of Estre's Porsche pole position lap around here. Last corner exit as well, like in real life. I remember commentators saying, I said that in stream once already, I think. Like the commentators during real life quali were saying, well, it was improvement, but will he keep the lap because he has extended the track limits on the last corner exit? But the lap stood, like it wasn't deleted, and they went fully outside the white limits. Not sure if that was for Estre or maybe some other car, but Estre himself was pushing the boundaries as well. Nobody was deleting the lap times. But here it's super strict. I guess still better than in iRacing. I was watching the constellations on the sky around here. I think I saw like that, I don't know how it is in English, but like that constellation which has like 4 stars and then like a tail, kind of like a cart. I think it's there. Not sure if LMU actually simulates the actual sky. That would be kind of insane. Either way, quali begins. Let's go. I need a sub 4-minute lap. I don't know. Should I keep going? Or should I just escape and do 1 out lap and 2 more hot laps? Nah, I have to escape and go for the other strat because this is going nowhere. I was so careful into turn 1 and there was... oh, okay. Not gonna take the drive-through. Ah, hi Marco. No, it wasn't a stupid move. You always have to try it, and as I said on stream, I did exactly the same thing some weeks ago, but I spun myself, so it was alright, but yeah, the corner demands you to do it in the last lap. But silly me went for the extreme outside lane, so I invited you to go for it. It's fine. I gained the DR still, so no hard feelings. Hi Francisca, hi Dan, yes, finale time. Shame that it's my 3rd race of the 6, so I skipped way too many. But well, maybe I shouldn't have taken the BMW because round 1 was at Kota, and this car is supposedly 1 second of pace at Kota, which is not great. Or it's not a great way to start a championship. I have not, Ayus. haven't really watched any non-Slovenian series for quite some time. I watched Midsommar Murders and I watched Pokemon. I just watched some Slovenian series and so on when I was young, but I never got much into watching series. Good question, Blondie. So it's hard to say, like, it depends on what field of view you like. Some people are used to having very big field of view, so then the corners and everything on track is tiny, but then you have great view left to right. And if you're comfortable with that, then 32 inch is perfectly fine, if that's how much space you have. Kieran opens with 3:59, that's a good lap time. But for me, I always struggled with the perception, so I always wanted to have as low field of view as possible. So now with ultra wide I'm finally on the 26, which is the calculated geometrically correct setting. And to be honest, I would still want a bit more visibility on left and right. But yeah, I mean, would need like a 70-inch monitor with huge curvature, and well, it doesn't really exist. Or maybe it does, but then you need crazy computer specs to run all the FPS on all the pixels. Yeah, Carol, exactly. You know what's worse? Driving a formation lap on pit limiter around here. Those who watched Le Mans Virtual, or those who drove Le Mans Virtual, remember? Takes a long time. Anyway, no cuts please. That was clean enough, possibly slow enough. With 32 inch, well, I mean, you can imagine it's just like 1/3 smaller than what I have. So just imagine like 1/6 of the width, like on each side, kind of cut away. Although again, my monitor is not wholly displayed on the screen. Yeah, I agree, Carol. I prefer the hypercars, but it's good to have a bit of variety now and then. A 49 inch. And the fun thing about GT3s is that they are very like crazy on brakes. They stop so fast. Well, because they are not going fast, so they stop fast at least. Slightly slippery apex. but no purple sectors. Yeah, again, I would not like to go to a smaller or narrower screen. I would struggle with visibility again. Well, it was a clean lap, but not a sub 4, so I need to send it now. I lifted just a bit too much. There was a bit more speed or pace in there. Current grip, high grip, low temps though. Ah, the tire temps are high though, that's funny. It's still funny with LMU how you have night and then the track grip or a track temp is less than air temp. Like, that's physically impossible. Like, the air would hit up the track to 18 at least. That was a bit more solid hairpin. So I need 3 more tenths. So close, top 4. Oh, Gibbons, wow, nice lap. But we are gaining. Come on. Not P1, but P2 it is. I will take it. Had to really go very deep to find the pace in the end, but yeah, that was messy last few corners. Was still purple because the car is, well, having a front wing and is very fast in the last sector. But those are some tight gaps. Oh, it's BMW BOP. P1, P2. Okay. So, spent 9.6 energy. It's funny how the ratio is so low here. I actually need, yeah, 6, 7, 6, 8. Oof. McCormack 56 8. I mean, if you esport it, then of course there is a lot of time to be gained. Like, I mean, usually when you start practicing, you have like first quali session and you do like 3-4 laps and you gain half a second each time, and then the gaps or like the delta slowly becomes to stabilize. But with full push, yeah, for sure you can gain a lot of time. So weird to see so high tire temps, but it's like 13-degree track temp and it was 90 plus on tires. I don't quite get it. Not really be like that. Be right back. Okay, well, let's see how strong that rain gets. It's so good to feel that front grip in the GT3s, and only BMW offers that, really. I mean, Corvette has crazy rotation, but it feels like it's coming from the rear. So what was it? 9.6 times 5, 48. So on full push, this should be 15 laps. Maybe with rain coming, could be 14, but it's not gonna be high enough of rain. I don't know. I'll put new wets just in case for when we box, and then let's see what happens. Have I tried turn off ABS? I think I tried, but I mean then it just locks up, you know. And then you have to drive it like GTE, and it's still better to run into ABS a bit. It's better to threshold brake and threshold yourself into ABS than into a lockup. So I don't know. I'm yet to study the ABS enough to really understand it. Thank you, Jan. First gear. The cooling is off. And we are racing straight into the slipstream. And I am in the tow, which is nice. So let's see if there is any tow with 5 to 6 tenths behind. I think there was none before. There is potentially some now. Yeah, Toyota man, I have all the settings on minimum. Struggling for every FPS that I can get, so all the post-processing and everything is just lowest, so forgive me. I had surely had some tow now, like maybe 20 milliseconds at 6 tenths, but the gap went like from 5 to 6 jumping behind to solid 5. And about iRacing slips, I think iRacing has much more like tailed off slipstream. Even at 1 second you feel it a lot. But in LMU I think it tails off at like 6 tenths, 7. Yeah, it's slight increase indeed. Yeah, that's not the most comfortable corner. Now I have one job, and that's to stay in the tow through sector 3. Well, how is that a track limit? Half a point. Felt like I was still within the white line. Maybe I wasn't. It's white line there as well. Copy. He took the cut, kept it flat. That gap is good. I don't think it's too powerful. Hi Kyle. I think it's alright, like, I mean, we're going to 80 and I'm slowly closing in on the guy. Thing is that if you're testing it with different cars, it can trick you quite fast, as different cars accelerate differently. So it could feel like that, I don't know, McLaren versus BMW is way too powerful and so on, but same car versus same car is alright. I mean, this doesn't feel too strong here. And remember, the car ahead gets a bit of an aero push as well. So if you stay close behind somebody, you're making him faster on the straights, but maybe slower in the corners. Does that smell like a chance for P1? Nah, overspeed is not good enough. Will he force it in? Into P1. And that was a very gentleman battle. I think we both were just super scared. Yeah, I guess Mlondi, like it's very like settled car. Like a baby LMP2. Oh no. Oh no. Guys. Well. The good thing is that that's some easy DR for me here. There is ×3 in the multiplier for the DR, so slightly easier gain. But big rip for the guys. I don't know. Maybe Print touched the guy slightly. Maybe it was the dirty air, like aero push, or they just dived into the corner too hard. We will check the replay later. Both out of the race, I suppose. Yeah, that was a big crash for Gibbons. But Kieran potentially survived. And now I'm giving a nice tow to my fellow BMW behind. Ah yeah, Kieran is P8. He just lost a bit of time. Why the game looks like NFS? Well, Marius, I don't know. There is no motion blur. But I mean, yeah, altogether lowest settings, and then 1080p resolution on the monitor, and 1440p input of the camera, and maybe that combination does something. So Printa killed him actually. Poor Gibbons. That's weird, like Prendergast is leading the championship standings, so he didn't need to go that risky, if that's the case. 50-50, alright. It's a very difficult entry to do it side by side for sure. Yeah, Gibbons out of the server. Ay ay ay. Toyota man, well, bragging rights and a nice screenshot. That's all. And a lot of fun. It's just like one of the 4 online championships in the online system. You get a good DR gain. It's times 3 from the beginner races, I think. I think beginner is times 1, intermediate times 2, and then advanced and championship races times 3. Weekly and special times 4, potentially. I never remember. Ah, Doc, the sufficient overlap, right? Carol, it's Heusenfeld sprints. You can cut that ultimate apex so much still. I wonder when the rain should come. So the 5th setting, or like the 4th weather setting, should be just after the half race distance. So maybe with 25 minutes to go, but there is this transition phase, so it could start at 35 already to go. And then we see how strong it gets. And BMW should struggle in the wet, but now there is no non-BMW competition for the lead. 20 to 25. Into the race or to go? Well, let's exchange a bit of slipstream and fuel saving. Ah, David. Tough luck. Yeah, it was good racing till it lasted. Shame about how it ended. Massive FPS drops, oof. Yeah, for some reason today I have kind of stable frame rate. It's not as bad as normal in the night of Le Mans. I mean 150, 135, 144, 148. I'll check again on the run into Indianapolis because that's the place where the frames drop the most, usually, for whatever reason. $30 to $60, yeah, that's not great. There is still something in both RF2 and LMU that when the session moves to quali and then in the race, it just gets so bad with FPS. Nah, I will stay behind. So 130, 127, yeah, the FPS is good. Somehow. And again in practice I have like 250 to 300 FPS. Well, with OBS on I have slightly less, but again it's the race and quali sessions that do something. Begovic is on it. Yeah, the CPU usage is crazy, and supposedly if we have 45 usage, that already means that you are very tight on the CPU. Well, that's what I was told by... Was it Devin? One of the devs? Yeah, I talked to Devin about the CPUs a lot. That corner is such a mental game. You just have to, well, throw the car into it, risk a lot, but you just have to go full crazy to keep the toe, or to keep out of toe. Control F, Mlondi. Although I have the Steam FPS counter on. So if you go to Steam, and I think it's like view, and then there is some setting, like would have to find it on the internet again. Just like a little, like you can put it into any corner, but I have it on top left, like a very, very small counter. I think the LMU one is more intrusive, and it's not only FPS counter, but it has a lot of stuff showing. Can be distracting. He broke way too early. I wonder how bright it gets, because this is kind of early morning, 5:22. I forgot at which point there is sunrise. Dear TC, where are you? I mean, I turned it very low, so not complain. Hi Denis, I like the slipstream, I think it's good. Except it should be more at 1 second gap, but I know the situation. Well, David, you got to experience a bit of aero push, I suppose. Yeah, Ayus, same here. It's a crazy corner. Yeah, 7/10. I guess that's the point where the toe stops working. Gonna keep it in 5th gear. Oh, the rain! And that was a good chicken. It's an early rain. Okay. Just checking if I still have the wiper on the same button. This should be now an easy pass, right? Actually not. Wrong side. Full course yellow. Well, there is code 60, right? Or code 80. Do they call it full course yellow in WEC? I mean, it should be in the code, right? Except if they deleted it when moving stuff from R factor 2 to here. I'm good at the chicanes, finally for once. And I'm actually saving almost enough fuel to make it extra lap, in case that's necessary. At this point I shouldn't be really going for it. Better to save the fuel to make actually safely the extra lap, rather than go wheel to wheel and then have Malik from P3 catch up. I barely noticed that there was a drizzle when I had the wipers off. It's already damp. And it's already scary. Time to start thinking about brake bias. Now this is gonna get wet, right? This boxing, okay. Is it slightly wet already? It's still damp, but this is still slicks. Well, honey, maybe just the aerodynamic, like the drag coefficient is so so small that... Yeah, I don't know. Real life data, somehow, maybe. Ay, ay, ay. No cut, okay. The track doesn't look wet at all, but it's very slippery. Is that right? Is that my graphics settings? No spray as well. I mean, to be honest, in real life it becomes very slippery on slicks much before spray appears, right? So kind of alright, makes sense. Has the physics of the tire been adjusted? Slightly, yeah, now it's wet. Now it is wet. And now if there was no ABS, this was the time to lock up front right into this hairpin and go into the wall. I didn't mean to do that to Malik, but well, even with ABS he went off there, but I think he avoided the wall. Anyway, it should be like 4 times 9 Wait, 9 times 7, 63. Fuel, no. 63 virtual energy. Yeah. I think they fixed the slicks in the wet. They behave like they should. They are not inters at the same time. Yeah, box. And we are adding 62, should be fine. Actually, so it will be 7 more laps. 7 times 9 is 63, but it's not gonna be 9, it's gonna be less usage. Track is getting wet. Time to think about wet tires. Nice message. Yep, box. Oh, that's so good. That's first time I feel slicks having proper loss of grip. You guys have fixed it. GG. I mean, GG. Good job. Good to learn this as well. Could be cold temps. Could be, but it's not that cold temps. I'm just scared to carry any speed into any corner. I have lost so much time. Now let's see where Begovic emerges, but I think he had like... he gained like 20 seconds. But I saved more fuel. Let's see. With Malik? Malik stays out. What a man. Yeah, Begovic is through. Good call by him. Although the gap to him can be explained by my surprise over the lack of grip and just being way too slow. Okay. Well, nice. The LMU is evolving. Good to see. Okay. Yeah, I didn't update my tiny pedal, so if here it's hard, it means it's wet. But medium is medium. Prendergast jumped me as well. Oh dear, I must have lost huge time. Oh. Who's that? Oh, that was Kiran. Alright, well. Battle on. But Malik will have to box. Sooner or later as well. And no way he stays ahead. Now in theory, McLaren has engine over the rear tires, so he should have more grip or more traction. Yeah, Toyota man, good question. I would have to double check the newest build, but the thing is that the tires by default are called like A, B, C, D, because some time ago it couldn't really distinguish. You would have to teach it the exact codes of the tire as the game outputs them, which is doable. Quite easily, to be honest, but yeah, till now I was just manually switching between S and, or like M and W, or MHW or SMHW. I cannot afford getting stuck here. I mean, I'm not really stuck a lot, but still. 10 seconds to Begovic. Oh, that's a car without a rear wing. Luckily he stayed off track. The McLaren has some nice grip. So Malik box. Will he change? Yeah, he lost so much time, he's basically dead. And the curbs are still not slippery enough. And there is no real wet lines. So I will have to wait a bit longer to be pleasantly surprised by that when it gets updated finally. Alright, well, time to make a move. iOS, yes, exactly same here. VMS reunion, yeah, I suppose. Dennis, nothing has changed. Then I'm confused even more. Then it means that the change was actually when GT3s were released, right? Because I've never driven GT3s on the wet. Which makes me kind of wrong in what I was saying, but at the same time correct, because then the change wasn't with the patch yesterday or today, but with the actual GT3 tire. Because that was way more slippery and way slower. Like normally you had to stay out when it was damp and box when it became slightly wet, but now it was already slower when it was damp. It's gonna be super hard to catch Begovic. I'm confused. The McLaren should gain in low speed and in traction zones, but I'm gaining there and he's gaining in high speed, kind of. Maybe it's just the current driver BOP. He makes good use of the McLaren advantages in high speed when it's not that high speed anymore. Tom, yes, I put it a bit to the rear, but I fear of putting it more to the rear, maybe one more click. Finally shook off Kiran, but I'm not gaining enough on Begovic. Wait, is it gonna be a lap less? So it's now 4:17. No, but the track is gonna get quicker. I have to save a little bit of fuel, I think. Yeah, the rain is... still says drizzle. Forecast overcast and light rain. Yeah, I wonder if it's gonna start raining again. I hope it does. That's quite nice lighting, right? I hope the camera makes it justice, but it's kind of atmospheric with shiny clouds of the sunrise and then the car lights and the trackside lights still being powerful enough and there being some wetness on track. Looks nice. So 4, 8, 12. It's gonna be 4 more laps. I have to save a little bit extra. LMU or ACC? Well, for me, LMU by infinite margin. I cannot understand ACC when I drive it. I understand it roughly, like I can be very consistent within 7-8 tenths of the top esports space, but I have absolutely no idea what the car wants from me to go even half a tenth faster. And I tried hard to enjoy it, and I enjoy racing with it slowly, but as soon as I try to extract any pace, it just starts to feel horrendous to me. But LMU is very natural and it just communicates everything I need to know. Well, Kunos is Kunos. They earn the most money, so good for them. I'm gaining like half a second per lap there, but I would need like 2 seconds per lap to have any chance, or even more. Actually, I think Begovic and Prendergast are P1 and P2 in the overall standings, so I wonder how that works, because the points are dependent on the strength of field. And Kieran wasn't battling me too hard, so I imagine that he has calculated that he's safe, maybe? I don't know. Let's see the final standings after the race. Why do they need early access if they made the most money? Yeah, exactly, like, somebody answer me, please, I need to understand. I don't understand at all. How can that be? How can they have so much time, so much resources, but release early access which is very bugged? I mean, supposedly people still kind of enjoy it, but why do they need such a long of early access? I understand a bit of early access, but why do they need a whole year of it, and why do they release it with quite many bugs and missing features? I don't know. I mean, I don't really know how big of a team Kunos is. Maybe they are just earning a lot and just investing all the money into the bank or whenever. Well, no, you don't invest into a bank, but well, elsewhere, instead of increasing the studio because they are earning enough and are successful enough. Maybe that's the reason, but I would imagine, given their passion and their funding, best game ever with highest realism, with most detailed physics, best tire model, everything. Huge car and track selection, open world. On day one with some limitations. But no. Early access with 48% Steam rating on day one. Well, it improved to 70% after some days I saw, but I don't know. Okay. Rant over. Hi, Nicholas. Yeah, crowdfunding, but why do they need crowdfunding? They shouldn't need it. They have like 10k plus players on both AC and ACC. Maybe I should spend my brain on catching Begovic for P1 instead of ranting about Kunos, but I just want to understand. And then you have people like Niels Huizenkwald opening up Microsoft Paint and drawing the graphs and doing this throttle mapping stuff, and like such a basic thing to have in a racing game, and they just ignore it. I cannot understand. But oh well. They gave themselves this whole year to improve the game. I have high hopes of them. But it's same with iRacing. Crazy amount of money. They could do whatever they want. But they release hypercars with wrong hybrid and with dry lap times if the track is wet. I don't know, like there is no passion in there. That's just for money. Like they are doing the job. That's it. Then you have Marcel Offermans, the old head of Studio 397. He doesn't need the money, he just develops the physics for his own joy. That was the most beautiful things the most beautiful words I've heard on the whole sim racing, Sim Europe, no, what was it called? For a Sim Formula Europe Expo at Maastricht past weekend. Words from Marcel Offermans. I mean, I cannot quote him exactly because I don't remember the exact word, but it was like, I will not invest or like spend much time on content because first the physics has to be fully dialed in. That's the most beautiful thing you can hear. And the cars already drive much more logically or much more intuitively than iRacing or ACC. And he's still like, yeah, that it's bare bones, it has to be developed massively, so if only all the studios were like that. And well, for Studio 397, I know that there is several or many passionate people that are there because they actually want to do this, that actually want to improve the physics, just with very limited resources. Yeah, and indeed this looks beautiful, right? Years ago I was driving RF2 and watching iRacing streams, and iRacing was like, wow, that just looks so much better than RF2 broadcasts. Some years later I go from LMU to RF2 and think that I entered some decade from the past. And this is low details, this is lowest details here. I mean, in the end I guess it's the better decision to keep ranting about other sim studios and have a safe P2 here rather than try to full push to catch P1 by 2-3 seconds per lap and win it somewhere. I need to keep my eyes on the fuel as well. The only complaint I really have about RF2 rain is the horrendous spray. It just looks utterly disastrous. That has to be fixed sooner rather than later, because it breaks all the immersion. Like even in the mirror it looks like in this mirror like 2D slices of spray appearing. And in the broadcast it's just even more obvious from some angles. From other angles it looks beautiful, but for some it's just apparent 2D slices of well, either smoke from the overheating engine or of the rain. Although again, would it be a lot different on the highest graphics? I don't know, would have to try. Yeah, Piotr, I'm trying to keep it in my mind, but probably not doing it enough. Let me clutch and coast a bit. There is a lot less inertia in this engine than with the McLaren. If I clutch and coast with the McLaren, it takes ages for RPM to drop. And yeah, well, the last garage, it's hard to say. I think Offermans is not really able to answer. I think he just wants to keep developing the physics and maybe get some partnerships, like he had now with BAC. So now there is BAC Mono R and the Anglesey track in the sim. It will be one more lap after this, right? Yeah. So there will be a bit of fuel saving done on the last lap. There is a lot of coasting through this last sector anyway, so... I kind of expected the fuel usage to be lower in the wet, but I think just that lap on slicks, when it was going from damp to slightly wet, was just so slow that I got tricked by the fuel usage. But well, 8.7 over the line is fine. Ooh, Kieran had to box. Ooh, that could be big for the championship. Looking forward to see the final results after this. But that could be... I mean, it's not really big championship or anything, it's just the online stuff in the system, but still. Ah, copy, David. Yeah, I keep forgetting that there are multiple attempts for this. I think you get 2, right? 2 or 3. I think for some of them you get only 1 or 2, but this is probably 2 or 3. There are too many fake F1 fans. It's a very broad topic. There could be just people liking Lewis Hamilton. And liking the concept of driving cars fast. That could make them a legit F1 fan, right? Luis! Hello! Long time no see. I liked your post on Instagram. I didn't really understand what it said because it was in your language, but I left you a like. Something with karting. Maybe you won something. Well, this has been kind of a long race, but it was good fun anyway. And this BMW is just so pleasant to drive, just feels solid, feels weighty on the front. The rear is a bit tricky because there is no engine over the axle, so traction is slightly nervous. But other than that, I really like how it drives. And I'm looking forward to the other front-engined cars. What is it gonna be actually? The AMG, right? Mercedes? And the Lexus? And the Aston? Is there another one? I mean, Porsche is rear or mid. Aston and Lexus, yeah, copy. No Merc, okay. Well, eventually they will come. Ford. Oh yeah, the Ford. Ford as well. Wait, is there Ford in WEC? I'm... okay, well, 0.4... yeah, I have enough energy. Can floor it. Alright, well, GG, Mr. Begovic. Nice strategic win in the end. Correct timing of the pit entry. Pong. Two things to check. One is the crash, and the other one is Interlagos. It was lap 2? I already forgot that the race started in the night. It is still that bug with real road. It thinks it's wet, but it's not. So we have... this is already after the crash. So this was the gentleman overtake. Slipstream side by side into Indianapolis. We both just very scared, leaving ourselves gap. Kind of. And then Kieran side drafting. He was ahead. Yeah, I see. Nah, that's a weird corner. Yeah, but that's just such a weird corner, because when you're on the inside, you're like trying to take some space on the entry. And if you have not done this side by side yet, and you're on the inside, you're kind of tricked into going wider than you should be going, right? You just have to go straight for the apex, otherwise you will collide. Yeah, I can see. And then if you're on the outside, yeah, there is just yeah. If you go more to the left, you're just gonna understeer off. It's a difficult corner if you're alone, but side by side is just super hard. And then yeah, ow, very pain. Alright, well then let's quickly check the DR gain, and then let's check how Interlagos is looking after the last corner has been fixed. car was that? Yeah, I mean it was a big one. Ah, Simbego, congrats. Yeah, I kind of waited for it to become slightly wet, but it was already wet conditions in the damp, so yeah, it caught me off guard. That's gonna take some time. Actually, yeah, the people are still lapping around, so let's quickly first check Interlagos, and then check the results, knowing that there is another round of this same race that people can do on Monday, so results could change. So let's take 24, let's take Interlagos, and let's take, what was I driving? I drove BMW, right? I drove this one. And let's check the last corner. Was that a different logo? When I clicked start driving, there was slightly different picture, I think. I don't know. Ah, Big Brenda. I saw. I was kind of marginal as well. Okay. We need to load the setup. Let's load. What's the latest one? Anyway. So basically the cobblestones and the grass, and like those cobblestones that are overgrown by grass, those have been made much bumpier and much slippier. Let's see how that works. I mean, is there more than one corner when that's the case? It's just so nice to have some proper downforce and some proper speed. I love going fast in The Sims. This one is as well. I think that Astro there or something has been useful before, but nobody ever put a tire on it. This one is still the same, right? Yeah. It's kind of curb. No change here. I guess it's just into turn 4 and then into the last corner. So let me take the old line. Is that bumpy enough? I expect it to fly off. The tires are still cold even. Alright, David, enjoy you, or rather have a good start to work tomorrow. So again, I just do like 1 or 2 more laps here and then check the results. Yeah, the tarmac there, here is grass, but this is not grass. So you could... Okay, yeah. This is now bumpy enough to make it useless, and I think it was good to put a tire on there before. So that's kind of fixed. But then let's see the last corner again. Oh, that's a nice setup that they have made for that race. I thought it's gonna be... I mean, I thought it's gonna be bumpier, to be honest. Let me try once more. Actually do this. Whee! F6? Ah, F6 doesn't work. You can still put tires onto there in case there is like a wheel-to-wheel battle or like some carnage going on and you have to avoid. You can go there and you will survive. I think... Yeah, Tom, well, Control X only works offline. I have not found a bug yet which would create a time acceleration online. So let's say if we... Okay. Once more. Just one more try. I can try cutting through to arrive there faster. But it just feels like it's smooth enough. So if you actually lift and coast... Oops. If you lift and coast enough, then it's kind of maybe useful. Actually, that's the Control X, so time acceleration is a good test of how limited you are by CPU. If you put a whole grid of cars around you, of the AI, and put Control X, if you're CPU limited, it's not really gonna accelerate at all, because there is zero CPU margin remaining. Anyway, let's see, if I go 4th gear and then lift and coast, then brake gently, that tarmac is on the apex as well. Like here, this is kind of like you can put a tire onto there. Yeah, it surely is less grippy, but it doesn't kill you. I guess that's kind of as intended, right? You kind of want to have that margin, but you still want to make people do that. I don't know, it's such a weird tarmac. Anyway, let's see when we are actually racing what lines we keep taking. Maybe it should be more bumpy still. Rank breakdown. Show me the gains. Ooh, +8. That's one of the biggest gains I've had in the recent past in LMU. That's nice. And if I check the championship standings, where is it? Online championships, fixed standings. No, that's leaderboard. Ah, there was still enough gap, so even with this result, Kieran will emerge in the lead. Where am I? Hi Edward. Yeah, the journey back home was alright. It could be better if... So wait, I'm P811 total. It would be better if the autobahns had less roadworks, you know. But it is what it is. When you see 7 kilometers of roadwork zone and limit is 60, then you know that you're in for a long ride. And then 15 kilometers with 80. And these championships are nice, but I kind of preferred the iRacing way, where just having the daily races count as part of the championship was a better idea. Like, I don't know. This kind of splits people too much around. And there is still not 10k of players like in iRacing, so anyway, it's been fun racing. I'm gonna do this on Sunday, and for the weekly kind of want to do this on Thursday. Michi is gonna be doing it, but again, I'm obliged to do some iRacing, so you know, it is what it is. Yeah, either way. Yeah, I mean, last year was funny. Last year I went with car as well, and there were more traffic jams both ways, but there was less road work. Also, there is road work and nobody's working. It's just like closed. Okay, I was driving back home on Sunday, so okay, all right, nobody's working. But I was driving there on Thursday, and there was still nobody working. You put up highlights of Michi's wins. Alright. Gonna maybe have a quick look at it. To be honest, I'm still kind of exhausted from the whole weekend, so I'm gonna call it a day here. The drive, well, 1,000 kilometers, 1,050 kilometers, so like there it was 7 hours plus 3 hours 15. And then back home I was 9 hours 40-ish in one go. Quite a bit of it was flat out with the Hyundai i10 with all the 82 horsepower. I might upload a video. I had a GoPro on my head, had some remaining gigabytes on the micro SD, so might put a not unusual video onto my channel. But there was so much traffic I couldn't really reach any big top speeds, just like 185 or so, which is alright for 82 horsepower. Anyway, time to call it a day or a night. Thank you guys for watching, for the likes, for the subs, much appreciated. It was good fun racing and chatting with you and wiping off the tears of the DNF from Sim Formula Expo. See you next time. Bye bye.